or I haven't posted in a couple of days. Got caught up with some vacation stuff in Florida. Um, the other day I closed 2 calls, so I got 2 new clients on that, and then today I closed another one. Past 3 days, if you've been seeing my stories on Instagram, you know I've been eating a bunch of food, and my weight has been staying the same. And I want to talk about this for a second because this is the importance of living an active lifestyle and not just going to the gym 5 or 7 times a week, just like everyone else, does, whoever on social media or whatever. I mean, lots of people that I would watch were bodybuilders, and I would just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll just train like them because, I like their content and it's cool, right? Well, it took me a long time to realize that that just wasn't going to work for me because that's not exactly the lifestyle that I wanted to live. You can look like you can look like a bodybuilder without having to just limit yourself to that. So on top of that, I started incorporating running and the sports outside of lifting, because like when I was lifting, I was like, oh, but I don't want to, I want to make sure I get my pre workout meal, and then I want to make sure I the anabolic window is like whatever. But that's that's some small stuff that is really not going to matter in the grand scheme of things unless you're super advanced lifter and you're really looking for like the small like 5% gains that you're missing out on if you're not doing those things. But I'm just an average guy, and I'm not really worried about that stuff. I just want to first live the lifestyle I want to live and achieve the physique that I want to have before I start thinking about the small things that are going to make, the 5% differences. So find ways to like live active. Find ways to, add a walk here and there. Do zone 2 cardio, get your heart rate up, because once you train your heart rate to be lower at resting heart rate, you will your body, it just changes. I don't really know how to describe it, but from my experience after running for like 3 months, my resting heart rate's dropped over 15 beats per minute, and I sleep a lot better. I'm not so tired throughout the day. I can lift better because my cardiovascular system is not holding back in my weight training. Um, Running is also just really fun. If you do it right, it's pretty hard to screw up and it's pretty hard to hate, to be honest. And that's coming from someone who really didn't like to do physical activity. Clearly was I was like obese as a kid, so doing physical stuff, especially running, was not on my bingo card for this year. But anyway, one of these days I was going to the gym, and obviously I'm on vacation, so like I'm still gonna work towards my goals. But the day kind of got ahead of me, so I was finishing my lift at like 9:30 at night. I looked at my watch and I only had like 5,000 steps that day. I think this was this was Wednesday, so 2 days ago. And I was like, man, I guess I could go on a walk, like, because I had to make up 5,000 steps. I only got 5,000. I needed 5,000 more to make 10K. Well, the options were go on a 50-minute walk after the lift at 9:30 p.m. or go for like a 30 minute run. And thinking about that, by the time I'd be back at home, I would be or I would be back at like 10:30 p.m. if I walked, and if I ran, I'd drive back to the house, run, and be back at like 10:15 ish. So at that point, I got a shower, get ready for bed, and I'll be tired as heck, and I won't have eaten anything. Or I can just think of it as like, all right, I didn't get the extra 5,000 steps today. Is it a big deal? Is today gonna make or break the progress? Is today gonna make or break the end goal? No. All you can do is think about it in a larger perspective, a larger scale. Are you hitting 70,000 steps on the week rather than are you hitting 10,000 steps on the day? It was so easy to make up those stuff. I mean, I didn't even have to think about it because when you're running anyway, you're getting well over 10,000 steps a day. I don't even have to like monitor how many steps I'm getting because I know I'm getting over 100,000 steps a week. Easy. So, like one thing that I used to do when I was really struggling with um, trying to get my weight down and just actually just have goals, but not have them consume my life. Like they used to just be on my mind all the time. I had food noise on my mind all the time. And I just like I would try to do everything like the habit trackers. I tried the habit trackers and I tried like doing all the habits in one day. And sometimes it would take all my energy for the entire day to complete all the habits. And then it's the end of the day and I realized that all I did that was productive was do the habits and I didn't do anything else that I wanted to do that day. And at that point it's like, are the rules of the game really that important that you're willing to make the rules take up the whole day and then you don't have time for anything else, which the other things that I needed to get done were still things I needed to get done. It wasn't just hobbies and things that I just liked. And when you do that, one, you're putting the you're putting this chain around yourself, one, to expect that you're going to do everything in one day. Because there are going to be days that you're not going to do everything. Especially if you have a goal that is, you know, pretty unlikely to be achievable every single day. So that's when you need to realize that you have to set goals for yourself that are actually achievable. And not just goals that are achievable in the sense of if I do, this and this for 10 hours today, I can achieve it. Achievable goals as in reasonable, honest, like sit down with yourself and actually think for a minute, what is a goal that is worth setting and having that's going to last a long time? You can always add to the goal. So start small. You don't have to start, wait, like, I don't know why. If you are a person who's watching this, who is extremely impatient and feels the need to push themselves at the very beginning, out the gate of anything, I'm just like that. You are just like me. And the biggest lesson that I've learned this year, and I've learned it through running, I've learned it through weightlifting, through so many different things, is that you need to start slow. You need to start slower than you want to start. Because one, because I'm one of those people who will, put higher expectations on myself than I need to, just because I want to think like, yeah, I can do this. Like I can white knuckle this. I can do better than I, want to think that I can. Just because it works for a week doesn't mean you should keep it. Because what is going to happen every single time? You're going to slip up one day, you're going to screw up the streak, and you're going to feel bad about it. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to try to get back on track, but then you're going to realize it doesn't feel the same. Because as soon as you set the goal and you set the bar way too high in the beginning, you've already ruined the actual result. You've ruined the end goal. And you've changed your why. You've changed your reason for setting the goal in the first place. Because at that point, you're way more focused on how you're going to achieve the goal rather than why you're going to achieve the goal. And when you focus on the how more than the why, you're setting yourself up to fail because every single person is imperfect. Every single person is going to make a mistake. So if you think about how you're going to do something, if you make the expectation so specific, the chances that you're going to do something wrong is 100%. There's going to be one thing on that list that you're not going to complete one day, even if it's just one day out of the entire year. If you do something wrong one day, you miss the mark. You're still imperfect. So why focus on the how when you can just focus on the why, and the how you do the why can be changed and can be increased in difficulty or effort. So you start small, you be consistent, because consistent is going to beat motivation 99% of the time. Consistency is going to beat it. And you would know that if you weren't so focused on worrying about the how you're going to do something and worrying about like how perfect you can be to do, to achieve the goal and to try harder than you need to. If you feel like, oh, I could probably lose, I could probably lose 1.5 pounds a week pretty comfortably, so I'm gonna try for 2. Why would you do that? Are you that eager to achieve your weight goal that you're willing to put on the line the guarantee of you achieving the result and opening the door to the possibility that you're going to fail? You're going to get mad at yourself and you're going to either restart, which never works, or you're going to quit. And at that point, you've just totally threw out the goal portion and you've changed it because you were focused on the 2 pounds per week rather than in 10 weeks, I want to be down 15 pounds. What does 10 weeks matter? What does 10 weeks matter? That's like 2.5 months. And you have 12 months in an entire year. So what difference does it make if losing the 15 pounds takes 4 months or 5 months or 6 months? If you know you're going to be down 15 pounds in 6 months and you know you can easily do that, then why would you say, no, I think I'll try to do it in 2.5 months? When really, if you try to do that, you're going to screw up and you're going to mess up, you're going to restart. And then 2.5 months turns into 5 months, turns into 10 months, turns into a year and a half. And on this entire journey, you've developed eating disorders and, body dysmorphia or whatever insert problem. You're going to self-inflict that because when you started thinking about how fast you can complete the goal, you've changed your why and you've shifted your focus. And that's a recipe for disaster. Because by the time you've restarted the diet 10 times and you've lost the same 5 to 10 pounds, over weeks and weeks and weeks, on a different timeline, in a different reality, you would have already achieved the goal and you would have already had a new goal on your plate. And the more that you keep pushing back and the more you keep trying to do it faster and restarting and restarting and restarting, the more bitter you are going to grow. I grew bitter with myself. I was so upset at myself that I started to dislike myself because I couldn't do what I said I was going to do because what I said I was going to do was unreasonable. I was not being fair to myself. Not at all. And you are probably not being fair to yourself either if you're watching this video. You need to give yourself time. You need to accept where you are. Understand it's not going to be a get fit quick thing. Change takes time and effort and consistency. So do something that you're going to be consistent on. If you need to lose half a pound a week, then start there. If that's what you need to be comfortable, then start there. Because who's to say that in 4 weeks you're like, this is going pretty well and I'm really liking this. I'm going to try to do 0.75 pounds this week. And then you do that. Do it for a couple weeks. Oh, this is going really good. Maybe I'll try for a pound next week. And then you do it. And then it goes really good. Your mental game isn't thrown off. You're more confident than before because, number one, you're being consistent on your goal and you're not screwing yourself up because your goal is actually attainable. And you are just going to build and build and build up that internal self of yours that you are actively changing because you're accepting your new reality in the future. And you're accepting that you're changing. Change doesn't have to be abrupt. Change doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to be hard. Go at a pace that you know you can do. You can always up the pace. But when you start too fast, you've cooked yourself. It's the same thing with running. I was running a I think it was just a 45-minute easy run yesterday. And it was a guided run. And the coach was talking about running the race at the right pace. And you don't want to start too fast. What happens when you start too fast? It's harder to slow down. That's just how your body responds. Once you start, you're going to keep going and you're going to keep going and you're going to realize you're getting too tired. And your body wasn't ready for that. And then you try to slow down, well, your body's already tired. And at that point, you can't just stop running. I guess you could stop running, but then what's it going to do? You're going to restart. What are you going to do when you restart? Oh man, I'm mad at myself because I started too fast. Maybe I should go a little slower this time. Maybe you slow down a little bit, you start, and you end up in the same spot because you didn't go slow enough. You didn't go the slow that you felt like you needed to go because you're trying to push yourself too much. What does it matter pushing yourself for? Who are you competing with? You're competing with yourself. Why are you trying to put up images of fake people in your mind that are pushing you to do more than you can handle? It's you versus you. Why are you trying to make that harder? Why are you trying to make it harder? There's no reason. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't. You have to prove it to yourself. Because you are the only one that can help yourself. You are the only one that can do the change. Remember, think of your goals as on a larger scale. It's not just daily, it's also weekly. It's weekly goals, monthly goals. Same thing with like looking at the scale. If you look at the scale every day, you are going to fluctuate. Your weight is going to fluctuate so much more than you think, especially if you're living an active lifestyle. That's one thing I've noticed. My weight changes like crazy, but I'm still trending down about 1 pound a week over the past like 10 weeks. It's about the trend. And within those 10 weeks, there have been days when my weight has fluctuated over 3 pounds. And I didn't freak out about it. I didn't freak out, and I didn't change my habits or my behavior that day because I was like, oh, I just gained 3 pounds overnight. I need to eat less today. I need to walk a bunch. I need to do more cardio, do more activity. And then you go to bed, and then you wake up tomorrow morning and you didn't lose all the 3 pounds. Maybe you only lost 1.5 pounds. Well, you're shocking your body and you're doing things that you shouldn't have done. You shouldn't have eaten less food. You're not fueling your body properly. You shouldn't have done more activity because you're working on an unrecovered body because you didn't eat enough. Your body is not happy at that point. So then what do? Then you get more upset. Now mentally, you're messing with your brain. Now mentally, you're doing things that you're devoting like your entire day to be, I gotta hit this goal. I gotta get that 1.5 pounds off because the scale needs to read this number and it's not this number today. It doesn't matter. If you think of it on a weekly basis, weigh yourself every day, take the average of the week, measure it, compare it to the before, the week before that, the week before that. Make sure the trend is going down. 1 pound a week is all you need. That's all you need. After I did my 7.5 mile run, I dropped like 3.1 pounds the day after. And I was surprised. The day that I did that run, I ate a pretty good amount of food. I ate more than on my macro plan because running 7.5 miles is no, super just light, easy, whatever, everyday kind of thing. At least not for me, not yet. So I knew I needed to eat some more food. Well, I ate more food. I had 2 pints of Halo Top that day. And I wake up the next morning, 3.1 pounds down. I was like, oh, jeez. So what did I do? I ate 5,000 calories. And then what did I do? I woke up the next morning and I was only up like 0.4, 0.2 or 3, 0.2 or 0.4 pounds. So what did I do? I ate like 4,500 calories. And I woke up. Again, it was like the same weight. But I know my body is depleted of carbs. We'll see what I wake up tomorrow. And I'll post it on Insta story. So if you want to see more content like this, if you want to see how I'm breaking down specifics of how I did some of these things and tips I have for you, go check out my Insta. It's going to be, a link is going to be in the description of this video. If you want to work with me one-on-one, fill out the form in the description and I'll get back with you. We can schedule a call and we'll talk about your biggest struggle in the gym. We'll talk about your biggest goal in the gym. And at the end of the call, we're going to come up with a game plan of how you can achieve your goal. So take some action. Do something about it.